Hi, everybody. So I'm here today with Tom Zimmerman. He's the CEO and founder of Marval. I guess, Tom, maybe if you want to start and maybe introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the
Tom
company.
Zimmerman with Marval Industries. It's a family business. I'm actually a third generation in it, and I have another generation ahead of me right now, and we're getting them up to speed. They're very cautious and careful about everything on computer these days, and I'm real proud of them too. So, we've been in business since 1956. It's at 68 years now, so we're proud of that heritage too, and it's I hope to continue it on for many more years. So.
Yeah, 68 years, that's a milestone and a
I
half.
know. It's almost a
Yeah.
lifetime this day and age. Yeah.
So I guess, before actually working with us, like, what are the IT challenges that you guys were facing day to day?
Well, let me go back even a little further because when I first, years ago, we were doing everything manually. We didn't even have computers back in the 80s, early 80s. And we
Right.
knew we had to do something. We automated our color matching ability with the color matching computer, which was one of the first digital computers to do color matching similar to what you see at Home Depot. And so we knew the writing was on the wall. But then it's a question that you get barraged by all these companies, and you don't know which way to go. So originally, yeah, we had a system that was all manufacturing based, right from the raws right up into the billing and tracking and everything else, and formulation. We used to keep everything in books. And then we'd have a change in price. We'd have to update the price and then do the math and see what the cost is for something brand new. So as we got through the 80s and into the 90s, I was doing most of the IT, with mechanical, the main, the hardware itself. That's a different kind of maintenance than it is the software. And I quickly understood that I need someone to help me because I can't be doing the software. I'm not proficient in it. If I were, I'd be going to school to do it. So I knew I had to go on the outside. So I
Right.
started out with a company that was they would hourly charge me. And I quickly realized they were good. But when I needed to get a computer or an upgrade to something, they had no idea what to suggest. And even before that, we had computer companies that said, "Oh, I can write you a program." But that was okay for just doing billing and just doing this. But after a while, you get everything has got to talk to each other. And there's where it
Right.
gets complicated on a computer. So we gradually got through the 90s, and I guess I got my first, that was, let's see, probably in the late 90s, I hired this group, or the hourly group, and they would come on site. They would fix things on the software side. They could do a little bit of maintenance hardware wise. But then I realized when I needed something, and these servers they've gotten as time has progressed, they get even more complex. And as soon as you put all your data on a computer, now you're beholden to the computer. I was spoiled knowing I had all the manual stuff, all the billing that way. We had to go back to the file. But this day and age, you can't do that. You can't be
Right.
talking to a customer and say, "Hold on, I'll get back in half an hour," or something. Or you got a problem, something that has a quality problem. I can get answers right away. So we knew that was definitely the way to go. I realized that I couldn't deal with an hourly type of maintenance, and then everything came along with the phishing and spam and viruses that could get into your system. How am I protecting it? What I was doing, we were doing these little cassettes, and and I had a cassette for the whole month. And every day I'd bring in a new cassette. We'd back it up the next night, and the next day I'd bring another one in. And then at the end of the week, I'd do a weekly backup, and then at the end of the month, I do a monthly backup.
Right.
I'd circulate those through the system, it was then we had one of the main computer crashed on us, and I had a guy that was doing the maintenance. They actually built the computer right on site for me, but the problem was it was antiquated. It was loading these little discs, and it took forever. It
Right.
took 20 hours to do it. He was there all weekend. So I realized that yes, I could do a certain amount of an engineer, and I know what I want to get from point A to point B. I know I need to do that. But when you work with software, you got to have the experts doing it. And
Right.
so we went from the hourly guy to a company in Terrytown. They had just started out too. I was impressed with what they did. They did a great job, a small company, and hands-on. But like any successful business, they get bought, or the owner was getting older. He needed to sell, so he sold out to a bigger company.
Right.
I wasn't real happy about it, but they were still holding the quality. The same people were there and everything. But I always suspected, I knew I was supposed to be getting good backups and support and so many hours. And they would work over after hours and everything. But as things progressed, I realized that also I'm putting my business in this company's hands, and it wasn't magically out of that. And I realized that I was watching for people. I had calls constantly from IT. An individual would get thinking he can do it too, like the big company. He'll start out a business, he'll start building another business. But I need backup. I can't just have a one-man show. So, so this company, it got eaten up by a bigger company, and all of a sudden I was just a number and no longer important anymore because I wasn't that big. I wasn't paying a big premium to them each year. It was a lot to begin with for a small company like ourselves. But it's like insurance. You buy it to have insurance. You're going to have continuous running and no downtime.
Right.
But then, lo and behold, Stephen and Mario came in. They tried, reached me by phone. They sent me brochures, and this is nice. I guess that they're a little further than where we are. But this day and age, you don't need to have on-site service unless there's something mechanically wrong. So I had him come in, and he did a quick test of our system. Which
you were very apprehensive at the beginning about letting us do.
He had the little flash drive. He's sticking in our computer, and we took random computers in the office. I didn't do mine. I did someone else's, and I realized that I'm not getting what I'm paying for here. They should be updating me. They're not checking my computers. They're not updated, which exposes us to other problems on the internet. So that's how we started. I kind of probably jumped across a lot of questions here, but I'll let Steve, if you want to, backtrack on some questions, you want to go into detail, I'll surely provide that to you.
Yeah. So on the challenges, because I think you mentioned that in terms of also on the support side, I think you said the guy would pop up there once a month, but you were saying that, there was, I don't want to take the words out of your mouth, but I believe
he'd come here every month, which we're used to someone coming every month. Okay, that's good. They're going around everybody's desk and checking to make sure there's not something they didn't bother calling in as a problem when it may not have been a problem to them. But in the computer industry, if you don't fix a problem, that's like a sign. And if you don't fix the problem when you have a problem, it just festers and creates a bigger problem. You could corrupt your data, any number of things. So we're doing so. That's what they were coming in here. And with the newer company that bought them out, they were spending an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And even then, I don't know how much he was actually doing because he was connected to the internet. And he was getting other calls from other clients. And it just wasn't, we weren't getting the same attention.
Logan was also mentioning that they would have, it seemed like there was disconnect, especially after the company was.
Yeah, it's a shame. They had some good people. They're not there anymore. But here we are, and I think I'm in a better place now. I know I am. So.
Right. Well, actually, perfect segue. So, what would you say is the biggest improvement since we're working together now? I believe a year, right? Maybe a little over a year.
I tell you, time flies. But I guess when you're not having problems, it doesn't seem like it was yesterday. But it's been a long time. You're right.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess the main difference is I feel comfortable that I'm getting what I'm paying for. Every time I call Steve or Mario, I say, I just saw a video, or someone called me. They want, the questioning if we do certain things in our system. I'll call them because they're the experts, and they'll give me a great. They don't have to get back to me. They tell me exactly what the story is, and I'm real confident in that. Backups today are so vital to a big company.
Right.
Or a small big company, I could say. So that's your business, and you got to have it insured, just like you buy fire insurance and liability insurance, workman's comp, health insurance. Right. You got to have that in order to be secure. You're going to be okay. You can't call a customer and say, "Oh, by the way, we just got broken into. We have no computer systems anymore."
Right. And aside from the security, which in terms of like response time and
Oh, that's superb. I mean,
I know you told me, but I like hearing it.
yeah, okay. When I first signed them up, I said, "All right, give me your cell numbers. I got to know that I can call somebody, not a recording." And
Yeah.
they were there, right? That's very important. They knew my cell number. Things happen at night. Things happen over the weekend, and they're monitoring our server all the time. They can pick up on things if there's not, say, one of the internet lines go down. They bring us, they alert us to it, and they're already in the process of finding out which one's out, putting in the call for it. So it's I guess the peace of mind is what the main feeling is once we got on board and you got familiar with our business.
Right. Yeah, and for anyone listening, he said Steve. So there are three. It's very difficult to do with the size company we have. We have three Steves here. I'm not the tech, so just so everyone knows.
Okay. Yeah, call Steve. He knows everything.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to have three Steves at one company with the size that we are.
We have a lot of Chris's here. So
Yeah. So I mean, I guess last question: what would you say to another business owner that could be considering Mazteck for their IT needs?
All right. Well, as I did too when I met Steve and Mario, I need some references. 'Cause I don't know you. I don't know you from Adam. I don't know who you are. It's like all the references, and granted, you think, all right, references. They don't give me a bad reference to call. It's going to be a good one. So I asked key questions. What was similar to what you're asking me here? What kind of response do you get? How are they doing? Are they fixing things when you need them? All that was positive. All good.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, that's good. But the proof is in the eating. And when you got on board, you took the reins. The hardest part, probably, in the whole any time you're changing an IT, is so many passwords and different connections, and you got to have all that in one place. And I got the incumbent to gave us a printout of that and emailed it over to you guys, and that made it essentially. We were converted in probably I don't think it was even a day. I mean, you had everything. You just picked it up where they left off, and there was a couple little things, but that's minor. I would expect that. So, and no one change every other year. This is too big of a
IT's like a marriage. You hope you got it right this time. Right. You don't want to do it again because it could get expensive.
Right.
And it was really interesting with you, Tom, because I think you were one of the few. I've been here for 5 years, but you were one of the few that you took all the list of the testimonials that we had. You said, "Okay, I'd like a few references, but I don't want them. I want other people." And it was interesting. I think you and I think one other person actually asked us that. Okay, I want references, but I don't want the ones that are on the testimonials. I want you to give it.
But anytime they can, as you've talked to me, I have a new client that really would like to talk to somebody and be, we're in manufacturing. Manufacturing is different than an office that's, just doing billing and keeping track of things that way. This is key because it's our formulation, it's our business
Right.
the computer. So it's very important to make sure it's secure.
All right, perfect. Well, listen, Tom, I really appreciate you. Thanks for taking the time to do this. And anything you need, except if it's technical. Non-technical, call me. Technical, call the other techs.
Very good.
All right, Tom. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You do too.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.